It is time. Elegg is here with overload gear. Shout out to my homie Rebuke. He always just pulls every single character and max limit breaks them and then gives them overload gear and 10-10-10s them. It's will problems, I don't know. But we are going to be taking a look at Elegg with full overload gear. Now I think we're gonna see her pop off damage wise just because yesterday's video when she was in the scope lock mode, she did do quite good damage. I mean, it wasn't like the greatest damage realistically, but considering the fact that it was no overload gear and it was, you know, scope lock version of Elegg with, you know, no gear or anything like that, I think having close to 600 million damage while Dorothy was like what, at 900 million damage again in scope lock mode was very good. We're gonna see how she is with overload gear and stuff like that, but I'm quite excited. The only thing is I feel like no matter how much you invest into this character, it's not going to change the fact that she is a niche character. You either use her on the team as a main burst 3 DPS and you're never going to get fully stacks for her ghost possessions, or you use her as a off-field burst 3 and she can fully stack, but then it's like you're not like going to get a lot of her kit because again, she's not really that good against mobs, just because with mobs it takes her even longer to get to 13 stacks, and then when you're fighting a boss, like, I'm not gonna be funny, but 1100% AoE to a boss is not, like, you know, to one single enemy is just not doing a lot. But hey, subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. We at the time of the recording, we are like 5 subscribers away from 25,000, so thank you guys so much. I did not think you guys would actually try to get to 25,000 off the last video, but thank you guys so much for all the support, all the love, all that recently, right? You guys are amazing. So let's keep pushing, right? I think maybe we can get 30K by the end of the year. If you guys think so too, subscribe and like, and let's get into the video. All right, so as you guys see here, we have Elegg. Elegg here has, again, overload gear. It's not leveled up, but overload gear 10-10-10 and then the cube. For the overload gear, actually, this is what we got. We got elemental damage, hit rate, and defense, which only the elemental damage is good there. We have ammo capacity and the attack percent, which I feel like the ammo capacity is good because she's a machine gun character at the end of the day. We have crit damage, ammo capacity, and attack percent, which again is great, and then elemental damage and attack percent. So we're gonna see her numbers go up crazy, and then she also does have a collection item. So oh, what is that at the top of my screen? It's fine. Anyways, let's go ahead and test her out in shooting range. All right, so first I want to try her as, again, a on-field burst 3 character because that is where she ended up doing the most damage in yesterday's showcases, right? When she was the on-field burst 3 character. I feel like using her as an on-field burst 3 character is okay, just because, like, you got to remember, right? When it comes to Elegg, right, all you really want from her, if you want me to be honest with you, is her elemental damage buff, right? And I know, like, by using her burst skill, she is gonna get back into a state where she is not, like, technically using her. Because look right now, 13 million is pretty good before anything, but like, she is going to get to a point where she's at 2 stacks right now. So all we're getting right now is the attack buff, right? That's what everybody that's a water code ally, so her, Helm, and Dorothy are getting. Now we're at 4 stacks. Everybody is getting, well, okay, let's just watch this. It's fine. Where is the 4th stack? Everybody, okay, we didn't even get there. So that's one thing. Okay, I mean, her damage is quite good considering we didn't even use her burst skill yet, but we didn't even get to 4 stacks with this character, right? And remember, you have this continuously, the damage a strong element continuously until she loses 4 ghosts. So the moment she loses 4 ghosts, it's not staying there for 10 seconds or anything like that. You lose it, right? So, like, you guys see right now, she's at 2 stacks. Now we're at 3 stacks. And now, right, by the 3rd, she's gonna get to 4 stacks by that 3rd burst thing. Right now we're at 4 stacks. Everybody right now, what's Dorothy at? 711 million, right? Everybody has that, what's it called? Everybody has, they're not everybody, but Dorothy, Elegg, and Helm have damage increase, basically, right? Not damage increase, the elemental damage thing. Sure, right? The thing is, when you use her burst skill, she's never going to get that because she's always going to lose it, right? If you're using her as the on-field burst 3 character, Elegg herself will genuinely never ever in her life be able to have the damage or strong element while in her burst skill, which I just think is silly. right? Like, no matter how much I look at this character, she is just a wonky character. If I'm using her as a on-verse, like, generally using her as a on-field burst 3 character is just not the play. I think if you're going to use her like Winter Maiden and just put her on the team as a flex burst 3. I understand that you're probably going to get more damage with her as a, I mean, it's not even that much. It's not like you're going to get a grand, insane amount. We're going to test it in this video, right? We're also going to go to, what's it called? Anomaly interception, but like, you got to remember, we're not getting the damage element buff whatsoever during her full burst, and that's just not fair. Like, the Elegg, her damage is great, 1.2 billion, like, it's half of what Dorothy's doing, right? But again, Dorothy is getting these damage element buffs while Dorothy is in the full burst, while Dorothy's in her burst skill, while Dorothy has all her maximum buffs from all these broken characters, she's also getting a damage of strong element buff. Elegg is never getting that for herself, which is just like, she hurts herself so much, it's comical. Her damage is good though. Like, don't get me wrong, I knew her damage would be decent. I knew, again, she'd be great as a thing, but it's really unfair that she will never ever get that for herself, right? The only thing Elegg is giving to herself realistically is the 40% when using her burst skill. And even still, like, it's great and all, but like, I feel like she's getting the attack percent that she always has 100%, and then the 40%. It's just, Elegg helps out everybody else besides herself, realistically. So I do think you're just better off using her as the off-field burst 3. I just don't see why you would want to use, I mean, maybe for damage sake, but again, I will show you guys what she looks like when we are using her as an off burst 3 character and overload gear, because I do think what you want to do with this character essentially is you want to get to 13 stacks, then use her burst skill. That's what I'm gonna say, right? Get her to 13 stacks off the field and then use her burst skill when you get to 13 stacks, because that way it'll go back to 4. So that way the entire time you always have the damage element buff increase, right? Which I feel like will give you a lot more damage and stuff like that. Like, as you guys see right here, we're about to be at 10 billion damage with this team. Obviously, I just think Elegg herself is, I think Elegg is doing it to herself. I really think Elegg does it to herself, the way she hurts herself to support everybody else. I mean, I wouldn't say she hurts herself, but like, it's just, you guys can kind of get what I'm getting at, right? It's just not fair in my opinion, right? But 2.4 billion, I feel like she could have easily been at 3 billion or even 3.5 billion if she had damage element to herself during full burst. That's just what I think. But let me take a screenshot of this, right? Because I don't want to forget this number. So this is what she was doing as the on-field burst 3 character, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and literally just put it on as a off burst 3 character, all right? And again, what I'm gonna do is let her fully stack up, then 13 stacks use her burst skill, and then let it, you know, fully built up. 13. I'm not gonna sit there and let her AoEs go off, because it's not gonna be useful, bro. Like, it's not. I'm not gonna do that. So once we get to 13 stacks with this character, we're good to go, right? We already have to wait. We're 10 seconds in the match. I think we have to wait about 24 seconds before we can guarantee get that 4th stack. Okay, Helm. That I love that gotcha skin so much. It's so good. But now we're at 4 stacks now. So now we 100% the entire time. Helm and Dorothy have damage element increase the entire time, right? Both of these characters will have their damage element increased by 35% the entire game, which is just like, it's just crazy to me, right? Because now these two characters are just gonna go berserk. They're just gonna go berserk, realistically, right? So boom, Elegg, you do your thing. I do think having that, like, I mean, I don't think Elegg herself needed that all allies needed to like attack the enemy for like, you know, the 100 time requirements that all allies like had to help her. She's a machine gun character. I don't feel like she needed that, but it's very, very nice that she does have it. Like, all allies can put in the effort to help her with that, right? But you guys see, we're already a minute in the match, right? We're already a minute in the match and we're not fully stacked, right? Against mobs, you're not going to be close to that. And then obviously, if it's a short fight, you're never going to get to 13 full stacks, right? But now we, you know, she's about to be at 13 full stacks right now, right? She's at full stacks right now. Use her burst skill. I used her burst skill. She went down to 4. While I'm in her burst skill now, there you guys see her damage popped off, right? She should have damage element increase. That's where you're going to pop off. Now she's at 928 million. She's right there with Helm. You want to use Elegg as a offer, like she's clearly as good as a burst 3 off-field character. Like that's clearly what you want with her, right? That's clearly what you want with her, right? If need be, I would say get to 13 stacks, wait for her boom effect to go off, so her second skill, and then use her burst skill, because that is technically free damage as well, right? But you guys can see now, she's at 1.2 billion, right? But for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna use her 13 burst skill. Use her until she gets 13 stacks, then burst skill, right? And I want to see what her damage is at before we use her burst skill, and then what it's at after we use her burst skill, right? That's what I want to see, because right now she's at 12 stacks. I think the next person to use their burst skill is Dorothy. Oh yeah, because she's at 13 stacks right now, right? It's fine. 1.4 billion. Boom. 1.3, I think it was, or I forgot again. I think it was 1.3 billion. I'm short-term memory clearly. 1.3 billion to what? To 1.9 billion. Yeah. By the end of the match, by the time, like, it's the same thing. Whether you use her as the on-field burst 3, and then you do this strat where you use her as an off burst 3 character, and then use her burst skill when she gets to 13 stacks, you're probably gonna get around the same damage, and I'm gonna show that in a second, right? We have 20 more seconds with this one. I think we could probably get her burst skill off the very last time. I'm not sure though. Nah, because it's every 6 seconds. We're already 10. It's impossible, right? We're not gonna get to 13 stacks. Like that's the end of her right there, right? And even if we did, it's fine. We're done the match, right? So okay, now we ended up getting 11.8 billion, right? It was probably a lot higher at the end. Let me go ahead and show you guys the comparison from her as a off-field burst 3 and an on-field burst 3. So as you guys see right here on the left side, this side right here where the image is, that's her as a on-field burst 3 character, right? But if you take a look to obviously your right side in the middle, that is where she is as a off-field burst 3 character. I'm sure you guys can tell, but it's probably better to use her as a off-field burst 3 character. When you're using her on the team, she was able to get 2.4 billion. When I used her without her burst skill most of the game, I've used her burst skill only 2 times that entire game. She was able to get to 2.2 billion. Not only that, Dorothy was able to get to 2.5 billion because we always had the damage element increase up, and Helm went from 1 billion to 2 billion. You're just getting way more damage out of your entire team by using her as a off-field burst 3 character. So that's my recommendation to anybody who is going to use Elegg, and this is what I do think she has a lot of use, right? I think being able to do something like that is very helpful because she still does good damage. Like she ended up hitting harder than Helm regardless, right? She still ended up hitting harder than Helm regardless. So using her as an off-field burst 3 gives you that good damage, right? It gives you access to pretty decent damage, and it's giving you access to the support that you want for the water characters, realistically. But let's go try an Anomaly interception and see how she performs there. All right, so we are here against Harvester. Again, same team, realistically. Elegg, your plan is 13 stacks burst skill. It's literally like Winter Maiden. That's what I would say. The best way to describe this character is that I think she has the water support like Summer Anise to Electric. Like she has that type of godlike support. But I feel like the character itself is just, it's gonna be better with a thing. Let's get rid of this right here. All right, let's try to get rid of the head, obviously, right? But I think she is like Winter Maiden in the sense of like how she works, and then she's kind of like Summer Anise in the sense of the support she's giving towards the water characters. That's what I feel like personally. She's at 6 stacks right now. Damage element is increased. I don't have to worry about HP or sustain. There, we ended up getting rid of the head. So now we can go for the cores and stuff like that. We're not fully stacked or anything, but hey, 9, right? We're almost going to be at 13 stacks in just a tad bit here, right? Right, remember, we're going to use her burst skill right in a few seconds. Right? We have to wait a minute. It is what it is, but I'm sorry, her burst skill is going to pop off, though. Like, at the end of the day, when her burst skill is going to pop off. We're about to be at 13 stacks right now, right? What is her and boom, we used her burst skill, and she's popping off. Like, she's just popped off with damage there. And again, we are in a situation where, yeah, she is just gonna hit harder than she's just gonna hit harder than Helm. Like, that's what it is. She is going to be a very powerful water DPS, one of the stronger water DPSs, honestly. She is going to be that. I will say right now, this character is 100% going to be one of the strongest water DPSs in the game. Considering, it depends on like what you're considering realistically, right? But like, I don't know, I feel like because I would say Helm is one of the strongest water DPSs in the game. I would say obviously the strongest one is Dorothy. I would say the second strongest is probably Lamilla, maybe Quincy, and then I would say probably Elegg, right? Or Elegg could be like the second one up there, because I would say Elegg is stronger than Helm, and I would have Helm up there. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's different for everybody, but you guys see, once you break that head and you, oh, I should have got used her burst skill. We're at 13 stacks. But now we have the boom effect, which the boom effect technically is helpful for the mobs, right? Every 6 seconds, the boom effect is just deleting mobs, it's deleting projectiles. I could just abuse it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use her burst skill, right? But that boom effect, again, even in Harvester, you guys seen that firsthand. It could be very useful, right? It kind of just cheeses. Like, we're going to be at, I think we're going to beat it, actually. Right? It just kind of cheeses it, right? Literally. The boom effect gets rid of mobs, it gets rid of minions, it gets rid of projectiles. It's realistically what you want, I feel like. Right? We're not even gonna get to 9 here. I think it's because we used her burst skill there. It's fine. There's a thing. Alright, we could have got to 9. I feel like we could have got the clear had we not used her burst skill there. But you guys kind of see how she pops off, right? I would say your best bet is using this character as a off-field burst 3 character. That's just what it is. She's better than Helm in damage, clearly. Like on or off burst 3, it's worth it. Using her as the off-field burst 3 character is worth it, in my personal opinion. But anyways, you guys let me know what you guys think about Elegg. I think she's a great character as a off-field burst 3. I don't want you guys thinking Elegg is mid. I definitely wouldn't say she's mid. I think if you are going to summon for Elegg, you're going to get use out of her. I feel like if you're ever fighting a fire boss, Elegg is going to be on your team as a off-field burst 3. Helm is already guaranteed on your team with that crazy monstrous trio comp, and then Dorothy's on your team as well. Literally, the team I use in this video is, I feel like, the main go-to water team now for like any fire bosses or anything like that. So again, both Elegg and both Dorothy from this summer event are going to have a lot of value in the future, right? Obviously, I know a lot of people probably want to use Elegg as a on-field burst 3 character, but it's just not going to be the play. It's not worth it. You're getting a lot more using her as an off-field burst 3 than as a on-field burst 3. But at the end of the day, she still does good damage. You are still going to be able to use her burst skill, just have to wait. And then she's still technically supporting the team, like the entire team, in a crazy way. I'm gonna have like a full water team video one of these days to show you guys what like the water team really can do now that we have access to Elegg and now that we have access to Dorothy. And there's a lot of different team comps we have access to. I'm gonna show you guys that in one of these days. But let me know what you guys think with Elegg and Overload gear. I think she's pretty good, but you guys let me know what you think down below. It's gonna be your boy Zxous. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Later. Peace.